The world that we live in is full of dangerous circumstances, ladies and gentlemen. The world that we live in is a dangerous, dangerous illusion, and anyone who has experienced higher states of consciousness or has reflected upon the state of affairs here in this world that are currently taking place knows this. This world is not what many people think it is. It is not here to take care of you. It is not here to give you things. It is not here to take care of your health and to look after you. At least the world that has been created by man, which I have termed or called the Matrix. The Matrix means illusion. This world is an illusion. In reality, there are so many fronts. There are so many establishments that appear on the outside to be beneficial or to be, caring for humanity and this and that, medical establishments, you name it. But if you look a little bit deeper and look without your blinders on, you'll soon come to realize that many of the most innocent looking establishments and fronts here in this material world have nefarious cores. So this world is not here to take care of your health, and that's really the core of this message, ladies and gentlemen. You have to become the role of your own healer and take care of your health. Your actions need to be your greatest life insurance policy. The things that you do with your time for your health. Every day, I spend a lot of time working on my health. I spend a lot of time concocting different potions and tonics. I spend a lot of time sourcing quality ingredients, sourcing quality teas from all around the world. I spend time digging deeper and doing counter research on the claims being made about mainstream health here in the material world, because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a mask for health. Here in the material world, the average individual has been programmed to think that health is all about light to moderate exercise, eating more chicken, getting away from red meat, eating more fish, eating some vegetables. There is such propaganda going on in the material world about health, and the mainstream establishments have created a false version of health that they advertise as being like the pinnacle of health. So get away from red meat, eat chicken, increase your exercise a little bit more, get better sleep. It's just such scraping the surface. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do research, you'll find that consuming chicken is just as dangerous as consuming red meat. Light to moderate exercise isn't going to do much for you if you're not eating properly. In fact, too much exercise can be detrimental to the frame of the body and to the circulatory system, the heart, you name it. The Taoists will tell you that the quicker your heart beats, the faster you die. Real health comes from slowing the breath down. Real health comes from remastering the breath, healing the lungs. Our lungs are under a direct assault here in this material world. Now, in Chinese medicine, the lungs are the seat of our immunity, ladies and gentlemen. They're the seat of our health, essentially. Our lungs. We have to really begin taking better care of our lungs, and we can do that with certain herbs like gynostemma pentaphyllum. Remastering the breath is really one of the biggest keys to attaining greater states of health, ladies and gentlemen. The more oxygen you have in your system, the better. But I'm just trying to paint a picture here about the mainstream version of health that is being perpetuated in hospitals, on billboards, and on TV, and it's ridiculous. For anyone who has their blinders off, who's aware of what's really going on here behind the scenes, it's not a good thing right now, ladies and gentlemen. Humanity is at a really, really strange point in time where we're kind of at a fork in the road. We have two different directions we can go in. We can keep going down the downward spiral that we've been going down. And I'm not saying that it's a complete downward spiral. I mean, obviously there's great things that are taking place amongst all the bad, but right now humanity is in a state of disharmony, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. This has been known for a very long time by many different cultures and even tribes and mystics and seekers that we're currently in a state of disharmony, ladies and gentlemen. and we can choose to change our attitudes in life. All right, you guys, I had to move my car. I had a big crowd of people kind of surround my vehicle, so I moved it. But I'm essentially getting at, you guys, to keep things simple and to keep this video somewhat short, is that we're at a fork in the road. Yes, there are great things that humans have done, and inventions and all this great stuff. That's fine. I'm not being completely out of alignment with the understanding that for as much good as there is, there's bad, vice versa. But right now there's kind of an overabundance of insanity here in this material world, with the destruction of the environment and the pollution in the air, and the food supply is rapidly becoming so toxic and so depleted in vital nutrients that it shouldn't even be called food, because food by default, by definition, ladies and gentlemen, is something that brings nourishment. And how can food that's genetically engineered and spliced and mixed with different genes and completely hybridized and filled full of different pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, larvicides, insecticides, all these different chemicals, and it's just insane. How can that be called food? I've said it once and I'll say it again. In the Zend Avesta, a religious document of antiquity, it goes on to say in that document that there are three primary foundational legs, so to speak, supporting legs of a civilization that are required for that civilization to flourish spiritually and physically. And anytime you take one of these three legs away, the entire structure of this table, so to speak, it loses its stability. Essentially what I'm getting at is a table needs at least three legs for it to stand up. You take one of them away and it can't stand up on its own anymore. There are three pillars in the Zend Avestas that are required for any civilization to flourish, and that is pristine air, pristine water, and pristine food. We currently here in this material world lack all three of those three essential prerequisite foundational aspects. So there's no surprise to me that so much insanity is taking place here on Earth. I mean, in all honesty, it's not that hard to see. I mean, you can just walk around and see the sickness. People are starting to resemble zombies. The things that people are interested in have no real value anymore. Our vocabulary has dwindled massively in the last 300 to 400 years. Things are not looking good. The mental illness and the obesity and the diabetes is through the roof, and the cancer and the heart disease. It's insane. Toxic distractions are everywhere. You have to become your own caretaker, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to keep your mentality in alignment in your physicality, if you want to keep your physical health and your mental health and your spiritual health in check. You have to become your own personal life insurance policy. You need to take the herbs every day. You need to look into the tonic herbs of traditional Chinese medicine and look at some of those herbs and pick some to choose some and start consuming them. The traditional Chinese medicine system, within that, there are 27 primary herbs that are superior to all other herbs. And they're not the inferior herbs like most Westerners are consuming every day. Most Western herbalists and health practitioners that choose to approach things from an alternative standpoint by using herbs and natural medicines, most of them are using inferior herbs. And the inferior herbs are a class of herbs in the traditional Chinese medicine system that have a medicinal value. They do, but they're not supposed to be taken every day. Just because it grew out of the ground or grew off of a tree, ladies and gentlemen, or just because it's a bark or a nut or this and that, it doesn't mean that it's safe for consumption. So many Western herbalists, or self-made, self-taught herbalists, as I call them, here in this material world, they use dangerous constituents. They have this erroneous idea that just because it came from the earth that it's edible, or that it can be taken and it gives health, like things like milk thistle. I cannot believe that people recommend milk thistle. Western herbalists recommend milk thistle for liver regeneration and detox. It only stimulates stage 1 detox of the liver, unlike the almighty schisandra berry, which stimulates stage 1 and stage 2 liver detox. So I really hope that my message can get to you at the right time and kind of agitate a response in you. I hope that my message can provide hope or inspiration on your path towards healing. I hope that my message can come to you right at the right time and intersect into your life and again, provide hope or faith, or, if you're currently on your own healing journey, maybe my messages can help uplift you. I don't know. I just hope that I can be of assistance on your journey, because I know that the journey of health is a absolutely magnificent and uplifting, and it's the word I'm looking for, enriching. It's an enriching journey. This is a journey of self-discovery and awakening aspects of yourself that have lied dormant for a long time. The more you take care of your health properly, the more of the psychic centers in your brain and in your body and your mind and your consciousness will begin to awaken. You're going to gain access to layers of your mind and your body that most people don't have access to here in this material world, due to their actions and what they consume mentally, emotionally, and physically every day. This is the land of the dead, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean that people are walking around with aspects of their mind and their bodies either in a state of dormancy and not working, or completely atrophying. Any species that only uses a small percentage of its potential is part dead, ladies and gentlemen, and then that's why I call this world a land of the walking dead. This is what all this zombie stuff on the televisions is about, in my opinion. The psychology, or the symbolism of a zombie, is an individual who lost his or her humanity, lost his or her connection to his or her soul. They're lost. They've had their biologies changed. All these foods out here, ladies and gentlemen, have been proven to alter biology. These genetically engineered foods, they produce tumors in rats in studies. They drastically decrease lifespan longevity. They disassociate the hormone systems. They damage the liver. They alter the blood. They manipulate the way that the endocrine system operates, the central nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. These foods are Trojan horse weapon systems designed to destroy your genes and your biology under the guise of entertainment. Oh, it's Friday night, Saturday night, it's dinner time. Food has become such a toxic part of our culture that it is actually in our genetics at this point, it seems, a program of constant eating for recreation. A lot of people eat, most people eat not to survive, they eat for, what is that quote? Most people eat to live to eat, they don't eat to live. Eating to live is when you consume things that nourish you. Living to eat is when you just live meal by meal, because most people are just so obsessed with eating. Most people, when they consume food, ladies and gentlemen, it's not for nourishment, it's for pleasure. And anytime you don't eat for nourishment, you lose your nutritional reserves, you lose your chi. In Chinese medicine, it's called your vitality, your ki, or your chi. Food is supposed to be full of ki. It's supposed to be full of shen and jing. These are three energies that are in different proportions in certain foods: jing, shen, and ki, or chi. These are what's known as the three treasures in Chinese healing. And these energies are in the body and they deplete. And when we eat food, we're supposed to regenerate these reserves, the jing, the shen, and the chi. But when you live to eat, ladies and gentlemen, it's usually foods that aren't good for you, and it depletes your energy levels. It depletes your shen, your jing, and your ki. And I talk about the three treasures on my Patreon page, and I've talked about it in previous videos here on the YouTube channel. If you want to learn more, just take a look through my archive. But what a crazy, crazy world. I'm going to wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen, by saying that I hope that my messages can inspire you to take care of your health. You have the power right now to change your destiny, to alter your path with your mind. You can change directions. You can choose to be healthy, or you can choose to be unhealthy. And let me tell you, many people are going to choose to be unhealthy. That's just the way it is here in this world. Peace be with you all.